Hi and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the sacral response, not at a beginner level in terms of explaining what the sacral response is for a generator and a manifesting generator, but more into what do we do when we feel like we can't really follow it, where we feel like we're in a situation where we're kind of trapped. For example, if we're in a job we don't like and we clearly see that our sacral is not responding to that job, yet we still don't know how we can move into a new situation. Alright, so a comment came in one of my videos in Spanish where I was talking about how important it is to follow the sacral response if you're a generator or a manifesting generator, and someone's like, okay, yeah, that's good and all, but what if you have like something you have to do? And they gave me an example because I used to have a study group, and they gave me the example, like, say people have paid you for that study group and you've said you were going to do 4 classes a week, but you don't have energy that day, or your sacral is not responding to going to give that class. So what do? So I wrote some notes here that I'm going to share with you. And the first note is, it's so important how we get into situations. I think the most important thing in taking the correct, and I struggle with that word, but taking the correct action in our life is to get into situations in the right way. And getting into a situation in the right way means that when you are saying yes to something, when you are making a commitment in your life, that you are, to the best of your ability, following your inner guidance and not your mind, not the voice of your mind. And so obviously for those of you that are studying your human design, following your inner guidance can be described really well with your strategy, even understanding your type deeply, understanding your aura, why it works the way it does, and understanding your authority. But it really has to do with, are you listening to those deeper parts of you that are guiding you, or are you entering situations because you should, or because you're scared, or because an amazing opportunity came and you could not say no to it? So it has a lot to do with that. So obviously, I'm not yet talking about the situation where you are in a commitment and you're like, crap, my sacral is not responding. What do I do? But I did want to put that as number one because it's so important how you enter a situation. So if you are in a situation where you're kind of trapped and what you have committed to doesn't feel aligned anymore, there's a good chance that the way you entered that situation was not correct. So for example, if you're emotional, maybe you didn't wait long enough to feel into that opportunity, into that commitment. If you're emotional, it could be because of that. If you're a projector, this could happen as well if you didn't really feel recognized when you accepted an invitation, etc. So how you enter a situation is everything. My note number 2 about this is that when your sacral starts telling you that there's no energy for something, because that's basically what the sacral is communicating with the or or the yes or no, what it's communicating for you is there is energy in this machine for that thing, or there is no energy right now in this machine for that thing. So it's important when we see, okay, there's no energy, let's just stick to that example of me giving classes as an example. There's no energy for me to give these classes anymore. Every time I try to plan a class, my sacral is just constricted. I'm feeling a lot of energy and want and passion to go into another project, and I just feel drained with this one project. So a lot of people are like, okay, my sacral said that this job or this thing is not aligned anymore, and they jump into the okay, well, I gotta change. I gotta go to a new job, or I have to what is the physical thing, right? The 3D shift, because now I have a problem. And I think that there's just a different perspective that is a lot more helpful, which is to start getting the sacral response as information. So when that starts happening, now you know, oh, okay, there is no more sacral energy for this thing. But you don't have to jump right away into how to fix it, because again, that's kind of going back into your head and thinking that you have to come up with all the answers and all the ways that everything's going to work out in your life. And that really isn't the point of human design. The point of human design is letting go, trusting, and being the observer of your life, and watching how your magnetic monopole just aligns everything for you, right? And as a generator, how everything is attracted to you. The right things are going to be attracted to you. But that doesn't happen if you don't create like a sense of openness in your life, and you don't change your perspective to not trying to be the one that controls everything. So just like a little shift in perspective where you're like, okay, well, now I have the information. Now I know this project, this job, whatever is no longer aligned for me. And then I wonder how things are going to work out so that I get to do something where my sacral is responding. And for this, I have two kind of tips. The first tip is to, even though you hate your job, even though you're not in a good space with it or whatever, how can I find more satisfaction in my job right now? So if you tell the universe by looking for satisfaction and finding it in little things, I'm sure you can find it in something, even if it's in taking a longer break and enjoying that walk, or in trying to come into your work with a loving energy and seeing how that affects the people around you, especially those people that it's really hard for you to interact with. I don't know, like find satisfaction in something. Then you're giving out the message to the universe that you are in it for the satisfaction, that you're ready to receive more satisfaction in your life. And contrary to what your mind may think, enjoying your job, even when you hate it, is not a sign to the universe that you want to stay there. It's a sign for the universe to give you more of that satisfaction. So that could be a really good way to start shifting the energies and to watch how the universe starts aligning changes for you, opening up new doorways for new, more exciting opportunities to come your way. And then the second advice or little tip with this is find satisfaction outside of your job. So whatever time you have left after, don't distract yourself because you're so upset that your job sucks that then you go home and eat and watch TV and like do all the things that are not good for your soul. Find satisfaction, even if it's 30 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, and then that again is going to have the effect of lining you up with more satisfaction in your life. And those two things, if you just do that, I feel very certain that things are going to begin to change with you, and you're going to be able to start seeing the way out. When we don't see the way out, it's simply because we're not seeing from the right perspective. So just shift your perspectives little by little, be patient, and you'll start seeing the shifts. And then the third thing that I have written down, third and last thing, is you have to have the courage to recognize when it's time to let something go. So if that's happening to you, it's very common for us humans to like jump straight into this frequency of failure. Like, oh, there's no more energy for this project. I failed at it. Or I made this commitment and now I don't have energy for it. I'm either going to like force myself to do it and then be unhappy and do it with the wrong energy and still I'm not helping anyone. Or I'm gonna like close it and feel terrible, and that is gonna bring myself down, and I'm not gonna try anything else again because it sucks to fail. But so many pieces of our chart could point to the fact that we need to try new things. Like you could be a manifesting generator that's meant to jump from thing to thing without guilt. You could have a 3 in your profile. You could have third lines all over the place in your chart. We're all, to some degree or another, meant to try things and then close them or switch or not like certain jobs or whatever. So it's really important to give yourself that leeway so that you can be like, you know what, this thing is done. Like it was aligned for me at once, or maybe it was never aligned, but I can have the courage to let it go and to just be kind and gentle with anyone who is involved in that commitment, explaining that your energy is your priority and that right now you don't have the energy for that thing. And, you know, like taking it as a amazing learning process. The more we do this, the more that you're going to like be in tune with how it feels to not have energy for something, versus the difference when you do have energy for something, and that in and of itself is going to be helping you to navigate your own design and navigate your own making decisions in the best way for you, and what commitments to take and what commitments not to take, etc. So remember, this is all a journey, this is all an experiment, and also remember, this is all coming from my lens as well. I love talking about human design, but everything I say is filtered through my lens as well. So take what serves you, leave what doesn't, and leave me a comment if this resonated. Let me know how it feels for you. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any other topics that you would like me to touch on. And if you like this free content, I would super appreciate it if you shared it with anyone who could find it useful. If you liked the video, if you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Take care, sending so much love and peace your way.